This is the Louie Tee Network.
In the lab room. 5 minutes or less.
Atlanta Falcons. Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on this program, 5 Minutes or Less series, 2014 schedule release of the Atlanta Falcons. My, have the mighty fallen. Let's take a look at this schedule. Start with those primetime games. And boy, I remember there was a time when those boys up at Bristol, those NBC boys up at 30 Rock, they couldn't get them enough of these Falcons. I mean, they were a 5-star football team through and through. But you get one of those nasty, funky 4-win seasons, and you look how they turn their backs on you. You got 2 primetime games to your name. But it doesn't matter. You'll play that underdog role. You know what we call teams like you? We call you sleepers. If they're going to sleep on you, time for you to wake their asses up. So you look at these primetime games. You got 2 of them, so make them count. Week 3, home for Tampa Bay. They're a new-look football team. You feel like you're a better team than you were a season ago? Prove it. Week 3, Thursday night, you got the Buccaneers at home. Take care of business. You look at Monday Night Football, Week 14 at Green Bay. If you're a good team in Week 14, we know the Packers are going to be. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt again, they're going to be a good team. That's going to be a huge game, one that you know I'll be front and center for. At Green Bay, that time of the year, probably going to be cold. We'll see what you're made out of if you are the Atlanta Falcons. That's one that you're probably going to need if you want to make the postseason. That's going to be a lot of fun right there, if I do say so myself. You move on to divisional games, and this is a tough division. And it seems like no one repeats as division champ in the NFC South. You can go from worst to first in the blink of an eye. Teams do it all the time in this division. And so, hey, why not us, right? If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, that's what you're saying, right? Why not us? We'll see. But it starts right here in the division. If you want to be the next champion of the NFC South, then it starts within the division. Let's look at these games. Carolina, the NFC South champions from a season ago. Week 17, you're at home for those guys. So last year, I think you had the Panthers at home in Week 17. Last year, if I'm not mistaken. You got them at home again. This time, this could be for the playoffs. And not for them. Last year it was for the playoffs. This year it could be for you trying to do something in the playoffs. Could be for them too. Who knows? Just good to know that you are at home. If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, feels good to know, hey, we got these guys at home. If we need it, it's at home. We should be able to try to take care of business. You look at Week 11, you're at Carolina. Carolina, always a tough place to play for you. This Carolina Panthers team is always a tough matchup for you, but it's family business. Expect you to try to take care of business on the road. Again, if you want to make that jump from worst to first, you got to take care of division games. Road, home, doesn't matter. You got to take care of them. New Orleans, that's a big game right off the bat. Last year it was just like this a season ago. Remember last year? You had to go to New Orleans week 1, and to me, that was a statement game. New Orleans came out on top, and look what they ended up doing for the rest of the season. You went down, they went up. This year, they gave you the same exact thing, except this time they said, hey, we'll give you the week 1 home game against New Orleans. See what you do with it. That's a big game if you are the Atlanta Falcons. You're at home against New Orleans. Statement game. Yes, indeed. You look at week 16, you're at New Orleans, so a late season game against the Saints on the road. That's going to be a toughie. You got to try to go out to New Orleans and get one done. You look at Tampa Bay, week number 3, you're at home. Another early season game within the division. Got to have them. Got to have them if you are the Atlanta Falcons. Week 10, you're at Tampa Bay. Got to go out to Tampa Bay and see if you can get it done. Last season, Tampa Bay beat the brakes off of you at Tampa Bay. You got to find a way to go into Tampa Bay and show some resolve and get it done against the Buccaneers. This is a different Bucs team, and you like to think that you're a different Falcons team. So week 3, you're at home. On primetime, week 10, you got to go to Tampa Bay. You look at anomalies, and these are things that stick out on the schedule, whether it be 3 out of 4 away or home, 4 out of 5 away or home, 3 straight home or away. You play in London. Those are anomalies, things that stick out on a schedule. Falcons have several anomalies on their schedule. You start with the home anomaly, 3 out of 4 at home in weeks 12 through 15. So that's later in the season. That's a nice stretch of football where you're at home. You got to take advantage of those home games if you are the Atlanta Falcons. But know that since you got that home anomaly, there's probably going to be a road anomaly somewhere in there, and that is in fact the case. 3 out of 4 in weeks 4 through 7, you're on the road early in the season. Got to take advantage of the opportunities when they come your way. And this is an opportunity for you to stockpile some road victories early in the season so that when you go home later on, you're playing with house money. So weeks 4 through 7, you're on the road. Try to get some victories on the road. That's what good teams do. They get wins on the road. And another anomaly on this schedule is that you play in London. You lose a home game in London, week 8, against the Detroit Lions. So you only have 7 games in the Georgia Dome this year because you play a game in London. So it is what it is. Because you play a game in London in week 8, you know when your bye is going to be. That means your bye has to be the next week. Week 9 is when your bye is. And so we move on to mark your calendar games. Look, to me, it doesn't get much bigger than this, all right? Week 1, New Orleans, right out the gate. You've got to find a way to beat the New Orleans Saints. They beat you last year at home in the Superdome, and they catapulted themselves into NFC South supremacy while you sunk into the basement of this division. The same thing could happen with this game. I don't want to put that much stock into it, but this is a huge game. And you also got another game. Week 3, Tampa Bay. To me, you got to get these wins at home early in the season. Week 1, week 3, you got 2 divisional games, both at home. You cannot afford to drop these games. Circle both of those games on the calendar because those games are going to tell me a lot about this version of the Atlanta Falcons in 2014. So that's going to do it for the Dirty Birds. This has been the Atlanta Falcons in 5 minutes. Or less.
While you're here, go ahead and sub up.
In the lab room.